Greetings petrolheads, welcome back to Automation, the car company tycoon game. Today, let's take a look at the 2018 concept for Athena. It's called the Hermes. Hermes? How do you pronounce that in English? I don't know. It's, well, since it has a name that actually is a name rather than, a couple of letters and numbers combined, like CL10 or something like that, you would know that it is a mid-engine supercar, and this one is supposed to compete with the, well, no longer Bugatti Veyron, but now it's the Chiron, the successor to the Veyron, and it has a body shell that is, well, this one right here. That's the long tail version of the non-Lamborghini Huracan body shell that you find in the workshop, and it's made entirely from carbon fiber. It's got made longitudinal engine mounting, push rods front and rear, and carbon fiber panels, of course. Yeah, so the main grille is now integrated here on the bottom. Some big vents on the side, some very big vents here as well, and then a big wing on the rear, and some, yeah, okay, these taillights may very well remind you of the Huracan, but then again, like, I couldn't think of anything much better. And then also this body is just so much Huracan on the rear end that it's pretty hard to come up with something that looks very different from it. But with the big wing, the Huracan doesn't have one, so there is that. And the front is different. So this is all-wheel drive, like the Bugatti. And while the Bugatti has an 8-liter quad turbocharged W16 engine, this has a smaller and simpler engine. It's a 7-liter twin turbo V12. It's still not particularly small, and this thing will make 1275 horsepower, and 1073 pound-feet of torque. That's well, basically like 1450 or something Newton meters, something around there. Revs to 8000 RPM, unlike the Bugatti's engine, and, well, makes 1.6 bars of boost. It has a 7-speed double clutch gearbox and electric diff. Power goes mainly to the rear wheels, because that makes for less wheel spin, because of course the rear tires are a lot wider than the front ones. It's got 21-inch carbon fiber rims, sports tires. It's got carbon brakes, 6 pistons up front and 4 on the rear. It's got a fully clad under tray, lots of downforce with active wing, and that doesn't seem right. There we go. Actually, I think I know what caused that. It's that these vents, you see, if I move them slightly, cooling total went from 900 and something to 1556. They're a little bit finicky when it comes to their positioning. Okay. So, there we go. We have handmade interior, luxury heads-up display, all driver assists, advanced safety, active sports springs, because they make for a very good drivability, and still decent comfort. And then here we have a setup that is mostly about comfort, because this is again more like a road car. It also, well, it competes with the Bugatti, and the Bugatti is a car that you could drive every day. It's certainly comfortable enough to do so, and so is this 60.6 comfort. But look at that prestige, 98.9. I think this is the highest prestige of any car I've ever built. And not to mention that 17.15 liters per 100 kilometers is not economical, but it's probably less than what the Bugatti will use, especially when you factor in that this doesn't have cylinder deactivation, which it would in real life, but it's not in the game. So yeah, with that it would certainly be more economical than a Bugatti. But this car is not about economy. And you're gonna be saying, wait, the top speed is lower than on this thing's predecessor, the Scylla. Yes, it is. But the acceleration, especially like 0 to 300 or something, is gonna be absolutely crazy. Yeah, okay. 2.5 seconds 0 to 100. 13.9 from 0 to 300. And the quarter mile is gonna be done like in no time flat. Yeah, 9.5 seconds. That is extremely quick. And it does weigh pretty much the same as the Bugatti, but then it is of comparable size. And it has an extremely luxurious interior, just like the Bugatti, so, and a huge engine like the Bugatti, so you shouldn't be expecting this car to be very light. Now I could fiddle with the engine a little bit more and try and give it more power, but seeing that the turbo already kicks in at 3600 RPM, which is kind of late, I don't want to make it spool up fully at even later RPMs, so that, you know, it would be less drivable as a result. Yeah, it would make more power, but you're not gonna be able to use it very much. Excuse me. Okay, that was a short frame drop. That's okay. Man, if only we had like sequential turbos or twin scroll turbos in the game. We probably will get those in the Unreal Engine, but well, at some point in the future, but for now they're not in there, which is kind of a bummer, because we're talking 2018 on this concept, and these turbos are pretty much the same that, you know, we used in real life in like the mid 70s or mid 80s. So, you know, we've moved on from there in real life, but in the game it's still the same. So this car would cost, well, with a plus 100% markup, 363,000, which seems like a bargain compared to the Bugatti, which costs 6 times as much. But I mean, it doesn't have the same top speed, obviously, but apart from that, I mean, it is certainly an exotic car. It is very capable still, even though it's not quite as fast as a Bugatti, but you know, it is also not tuned for lap times, which you can probably tell by the fact that, you know, this suspension is very much on the drivability side of things. And even though we do have quite a bit of downforce, it's mainly to keep the car stable at high speeds, and not really for on-track performance. But let's see how it does around Laguna Seca. .142.56, that would put it in 4th place, just behind the Viper ACR, the Porsche 918 and the McLaren P1. So it's not bad, but you know, obviously with 1275 horsepower and all-wheel drive in a mid-engine car, you would expect a little bit more, but it weighs nearly 2 tons, and isn't tuned towards track performance. Now that I've said that, we may make a more sporty version of this thing with the same engine, with like a lot less interior and more aggressive suspension. Let's do that now. Okay, so let's go down to a sport interior here and give it a little bit of quality here. Give it premium infotainment, and well, we're only really saved like 140 kilograms from there. It's not that much. I mean, 140 kilograms in its own right is quite a bit, but what we need to do most of all is adjust the camber. 29.9 drivability, 81.7 sportiness. We need more front spring. Gonna lower it as well. And yeah, I guess let's try it now. $131.29, that would still mean third place? No, fourth place still, because the McLaren has a 130 point something. Can't remember exactly. Yeah, it's just too heavy. Just because of what it is, just because of that huge engine and the four-wheel drive system. I don't think we're really gonna make this thing like much lighter without turning it into a completely different car. So I think a track version of that thing doesn't even really make sense. Let's just, I'm sorry, but let's just delete that version because it doesn't make sense. I tried though. So what do you think about this car then? Let me know in the comments. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Leave a like or a comment if you did. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.